Okay, so we've talked a lot about the periodic table, and I just want to spend a little bit of time just kind of highlighting some of the basic parts of the periodic table. So we know that each of the boxes represents an individual element, and these are all of the known elements known to man at the moment. So each box represents a known element. And within the box, you have the chemical symbol. So, for example, if we focus here at hydrogen, so you have the when you actually look inside the box, you have the chemical symbol, which in the case for hydrogen is H. It'll give you the name. It'll give you the smaller number, this is what's known as the atomic number, and the atomic number represents the number of protons that are within the nucleus of the atom. And then this number down here, and this atomic number also tells you the number of electrons that are present as well. So we see here that hydrogen has one proton and one electron in its shell. We see here then this other number, so this is what's known as the mass number. So the number really makes up the number of protons and the number of neutrons that are within the nucleus of the atom. So we have each of the elements, and that's how they're represented on the periodic table. Now, what you'll notice as well is that you have these vertical columns. Okay, so you have vertical columns going down like that. So from hydrogen all the way down here, you have this one, and then you have like horizontal columns, so going from left to right. You'll notice that there are certain elements, let's say, within each of the horizontal columns as well. So the vertical columns are what are known as, so when we're moving down the periodic table, these are what are known as groups. Okay, and when we are moving across the periodic table, these are known as periods. Okay, so periods and groups. Now, in relation to groups, so if we think about, so when we move down this group, so this here is what's known as group 1, this column is group 2, this column is group 3, this column is group 4, group 5, group 6, group 7, and group 8. Elements that are in the same group, so for example, lithium, sodium, potassium, all of these elements have similar chemical properties and physical properties as well. So they kind of, when you look at them, they look the same, and they also have similar chemical properties as well. So they react the same as well. So that's the groups, okay, and then you have going horizontally across are known as periods. So what you notice is that if you look at the atomic number as you move across a period, so for example, the first period, it contains hydrogen and helium, and you'll notice that as you move across the periods, the atomic number increases by 1. So hydrogen is 1, you move across to helium is 2. So what that means is that as you move from left to right, the individual atoms that make up helium, for example, that make up the elements, they start to gain one more proton within the nucleus of the atom. So if we have a look here, so lithium's atomic number is 3, this one is 4, boron is 5, carbon is 6, nitrogen is 7, oxygen is 8, fluorine is 9, and neon is 10. So what's happening is as you move across here, the number of protons in the nucleus of these atoms starts to increase by 1 as you move across. So we have groups and periods. So the elements like if you're to name some of the elements in group 1, you have lithium and sodium. If you're to name some of the elements in group 2, you have magnesium and cadmium. Okay, so remember the vertical. So the vertical columns are what are known as groups, and they contain elements that have similar chemical and physical properties. The horizontal rows are known as periods, and as you move across a period from left to right, the atomic number increases by 1. And that's how That's what distinguishes one atom, one type of element or atom from another type of element or atom, is the number of protons that are present within the nucleus of the atom. So what I want you to do, just bearing all of that in mind, I want you to pause the video, answer this question, and send on the answers to me. Okay, so pause it, answer the question, and then send on the answers to me. So if we were to think about then, so complete the following sentence. Vertical columns of elements are called. So what are the vertical columns of elements called? Those are known as groups, aren't they? So groups. And the horizontal row elements are known as periods. Hence the name, the periodic table. So from the periodic table, name 3 elements from group 2. So if we were to go up here and look at group 2, so this is group 1, this is group 2. So we could just simply name any of these elements. Okay, so you have this one, magnesium, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So you can see, if you look at the periodic table, if you zoom in, you can see they have their names there. Calcium, strontium, beryllium, beryllium. Okay, so all you have to do is name 3 of them. So that's that one. So 3 elements from period 2. Okay, so now it's asking you to name 3 elements from period 2. So remember, so this is group 1, this is group 2, group 3, group 4. Now across, so this would be, so how do you know the periods? So this is period 1. Okay, this one. So this is period 2, period 3, period 4, period 5, period 6, period 7. Okay, so period 1 is going to include, if you were to draw a line across, so if I just get a straight line here. So period 1 is going to be all of these elements across here, so that's going to be period 1. Period 2 then, for example, is going to be all of these elements across here. Okay, so all this asks you to do is, it says name, so 3 elements from period 2. So if we were to look in here, so period 2, so you have lithium is 1. Okay, beryllium is also another one. Okay, and then if we move across here, it's gone a bit too far. So we have lithium, beryllium, and if we go across here, we have boron. Okay. So these are known as, so these are periods. So the element in group 1, period 3. So if we were to go down here, so group 1, so this is group 1. And so group 1, what did it say? Period 3. So this is group 1. Maybe if I do this like this. So this is group 1. And it's asking for the group 1 element that's in period 3. So it's going to be this one here. It's going to be sodium. So you can see here it's in the first group and it's in the 3rd period. So therefore, it's what's known as sodium. Okay, so it's just a short video just to introduce what we mean by periods and what we mean by groups. Okay, so you have groups and then you have periods as well. So it's very important when you look at the periodic table that someone says to you, what is it, like what, so tell me an element in group 1 that you know that this is group 1 and these are the elements of group 1. The same then as well, like if somebody says to you, like what are the elements in period 1, so you're able to look across horizontally and see these are the elements in period 1. And the other thing is that the elements on the periodic table, as they go across the periods, the atomic number increases by 1. It's the number at the top. And that's what distinguishes one element from one atom from another, is the number of protons that are present within the nucleus of the individual atoms. Okay, thank you.